Hey, Drew. Welcome to Smart Training 365. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Drew, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, my name is Drew, and I live in Orlando, Florida. And I can kind of go into what attracted me to the program if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Before we get to that,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you what were your goals
Mhm.
before you find our programs and what were you doing?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of goals, really more on the physique side as I've gotten older. I'm 34 now. So certainly not as interested in PRs and just lifting as heavy as I possibly can and things of that nature. Um, what I was doing before I became familiar with Doug Brignole and this program was a lot of compound exercises. I was kind of fell into the rabbit hole of compound exercises are the way to go,
Mm-hmm.
isolation exercises are useless, kind of like the bro mentality of if you're not squatting, if you're not deadlifting, if you're not bench pressing, what are you doing with your life? So that was kind of it's kind of where I was at on my journey before
Right.
I found uh, Doug Brignole and this program.
And what was your goal when you were using these exercises?
When I was doing like the compound
Right,
things,
right.
it was still physique driven, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So just because I was in the mindset that not only is that the best way to achieve the most strength, that's the way to achieve the most aesthetic, most athletic, the most, kind of ripped physique that I was seeking. And I certainly was not getting those results.
So you weren't satisfied with what you were getting?
That, and then I was also starting the thing that really triggered it, where I knew I had to make a change, was I was starting to get injured. Well, I don't know if I should use the word injured because I never was officially diagnosed with anything. I never, knock on wood, needed to have surgery. But I
Mm-hmm.
was finding myself for the first time in my life, and I'm somebody who's been lifting weights since I don't know, 14 or 15 years old.
Okay.
So, and I'm 34 now, so I've been lifting
Mm-hmm.
weights for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was finding myself for the first time in the past year or so, starting to just always not feel great, like lower back pain, shoulder pain, difficulty getting out of bed, difficulty just going up steps. I was like, what the hell is happening to me?
Mm.
So that's kind of where the mindset came in, that either I need to change something or maybe just drop weightlifting altogether and find a new way to exercise. So it was a combination of not really seeing the results in my body, that I didn't really like the way I was looking, and then also just body aches and pains and having to take more time away from the gym that I wanted to. For the first time, I found myself like I would need to take an entire week off from the gym because I had like such bad shoulder pain. And I had never had that before. So that's what kind of triggered something in my head, like something has got to change here.
Mm-hmm. And how did you find our program?
Funny enough, when the whole shutdown started around last March, April, so about a year ago, I'm a big YouTube watcher, and I started just binge watching a lot of Rick Drayson's
Mm-hmm.
material. I don't know how it showed up in my algorithm, but for some reason it did. And the guest that intrigued me the most was he had Doug on all the time. I watched a lot of the other videos, but I then found myself in a rabbit hole of trying to YouTube search all the episodes he had with Doug, and everything he was saying was just making sense. It was just all data driven facts and things that just seem to click. So yeah, I probably spent a good month and a half, every few days just binge watching, learning as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
slowly making minor changes to what I was doing. And then eventually I ended up purchasing his book.
And what did you type when you were looking for, like, what did you type for?
I like when I was
When
so
you
I
were
was just
searching, yeah, like, what
yeah.
did you search for?
I would just put in the YouTube browser Rick Drayson, Doug Brignole, and I would just kind of just watch everything that I hadn't already watched. And then a lot of times, the videos would be 25 minutes.
Right.
And I was kind of watching them and watching my son, or maybe cooking. So I would find
Right.
myself, because he would give such great information, that I sometimes would need to go back and watch the video 2 or 3 times, just to make sure I was understanding correctly. Because a lot of things that Doug discusses are so against everything that myself and many others have been reading in magazines, have been reading on bodybuilding forums, have known, that you kind of had to retrain your brain a little bit. So I was
It's
like, man,
true.
let me watch this again and make sure what he's saying is actually right. So yeah, that's kind of how I spent my first few months of getting into this rabbit hole.
Right. And what made you decide to purchase the book?
Just everything he was saying made sense. I was like, I need to learn more. He's definitely good at I don't mean it in a bad way, but he's a good way at like kind of teasing, like telling you what he seems to really tell you what not to do, and to actually know what to do. I needed to purchase the book.
Right, right. So how long did it take you to really go through the material and start applying it?
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a slow trial and error. I don't know if it was just natural skepticism, again, from 20 plus years of doing, bro splits and heavy and squatting and deadlifting, all that garbage. So like I didn't, to be honest with you,
Garbage.
yeah, I didn't dive head first into it like I should have. I wish I did, because then I'd be achieving more results by now. So I would say I read the book around June or July, maybe. And then I started slowly, let me try it this way. Let's, not do any overhead presses. Let's focus more on the things that he does. So I was kind of dip my toes in the water. And then really when I started to go all in and drop all the other nonsense was when I purchased True Bodybuilding. Um,
Okay.
so I don't remember exactly when that was. It was probably like November, maybe
Mm-hmm.
something like that, October, uh,
Yeah.
October, November range when I purchased True Bodybuilding. That's when I went 100% in. That's when I referenced. I really like the Brig 20, just because you guys display everything on how to do it accurately. So once I had the Brig 20, that's really when I went into the deep end. And I would say ever since then, ever since October or November to now, I've done nothing but exercises that he recommends. Pretty much all of those 20 exercises are the only ones that I've been doing.
Beautiful. And Drew, what made you want to buy True Bodybuilding? Because you already had the book. So what convinced you?
Um, I've always been more of a visual learner. I'm somebody who, like, when I need to learn how to do things, whether, it's around the house or something with my job, or, um, I don't know if it's just, the way I grew up or something like that, but seeing a visual, really does it for me compared to, the book's great. Don't get me wrong. It
Right,
has
right.
all the information you need, but I
Mm-hmm.
kind of wanted more. And then I was also interested in the other things that you guys were offering in the True Bodybuilding, from like recommendations on if you ever were to do a show, how to prep
Yeah.
for that. I was also interested in the nutrition piece. So it was a lot of different factors I was interested in, and it just seemed like a great buy.
Beautiful. So now that you have access to True Bodybuilding and you watch the videos, what is the one thing that stood out for you the most in the whole program?
The simplicity, the even though it was in the book, but just truly just once I finally really watched the Brick 20 and started doing it myself, the thing that stands out the most is the simplicity about how I can go to the gym and literally just be on a decline bench press for almost the duration of my entire workout. Is pretty awesome. And I certainly noticed too, when I'm at the gym, I get some looks from people. They're like,
Sure.
how many sets of decline skull crushers is this guy gonna do? But I'm not doing anything else. So, I'm not spending any extra time in the gym compared to others, but I'm just not running around like a maniac going from a bunch of different exercises that it's just not necessary.
Right. How do you feel after, like, how long you've been using now these exercises?
So I would say around October, November is when I started. So now we're in getting towards late March. So
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 months of
Okay.
pretty consistently doing nothing but the 20 exercises you guys recommend. And honestly, I feel awesome. I was always finding myself, pre this, I was finding myself only being able to get into the gym 3 times a week. Just a lot of times just due to discomfort and whatnot. Now I feel like I could work out every single day, to be honest with you. I don't.
Right.
But I would say I'm going to the gym about 5 days a week. Um, but I mean, if I wanted to push it to 6, I probably could, without any issue of wear and tear or anything like that. So yeah, I would say I'm spending about 5 days in the gym, just doing nothing but these exercises. The only thing that I do a little bit different, um, is I'm doing legs one day, I'm doing chest and back one day, and then the third day I'm doing all my arms, so all deltoids, tris, and bis. So that that
Gotcha.
that workout's a little bit longer. And, eventually maybe I'll switch it to what Doug's doing in terms of spending an entire day just on shoulders.
Hmm.
Um,
So you
but
will increase like another day. It will be a four
Yeah, but
workout.
I find with the arm workout, the way I'm able to get it faster is, that's the one day I think I even commented on the page where I do supersets. So that way I'm not there forever. So like
Right, right, right.
I went
I
this
remember
morning,
that.
to the gym, and it was actually arm day. And yeah, so what I do is I do side delt, and then immediately I do rear delt, and I just doing that back and forth. And then I do front delt on the decline, and then immediately when I'm done with front delt, I'm doing shrugs. So I'm just supersetting everything on arm day. So it goes fairly quick.
Hmm.
And then obviously, even before I found this program, I was typically supersetting tris and bis just to
Right.
do it faster. So, the skull crushers into like a seated hammer curl, that's pretty simple to do.
Interesting. So now you said you've been doing it for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel that you gained more muscle as compared to before without the strain and pain on your joints?
It's been incredible. I feel like the past 4 months have been the best gains I've had. I feel like right now I'm honestly in the best shape I've been since I was like in my early 20s. But the best part about it though is it's really not with any of the wear and tear and the aches and the pains. I feel great, honestly, like zero. I can't think of the last time I was in the gym consistently 5 times a week and still feeling like I could do anything. I could go run. I could, if I wanted to, if I go play basketball, I could go get on the floor with my son. No pain at all. So that's what's also like kind of got me back into being motivated to try to achieve the best physique I can, was not having any pain. So like I'm going to the gym and I'm really enjoying it because of the simplicity, and then also with knowing that I'm not coming home to any aches and pains. It doesn't hurt to get out of bed. It doesn't hurt to bend over. It doesn't hurt at all.
Hmm. Do you feel that your goals now are the same as before, or because you start seeing more results, your goals has evolved?
I wouldn't lie. I would be lying if in the back of my head now I do maybe have some different goals. Like just thinking to myself now that I kind of know the secret. Like it's just more of if I wanted to get over that mental hurdle and really hardcore diet and potentially just do a show for fun. That's something that I never ever thought about doing before.
Hmm.
Never. But now that I found this program, and now that I know that if I just wanted to follow a strict diet for a few months and drop 10, 15 pounds, I probably could easily compete in an amateur show. So yeah, I guess you could say that I haven't officially committed to that goal, but that goal is a thought now, where it was never a thought before.
Wow. And you know what? I spoke to a few people also. They said they never thought about competing, but when they tried the program and they saw how fast they are getting results, that thought started to become like an option. And some people, they just want to have that body without competing. They still like enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If anything, I would just maybe do it just to say, hey, I did it once. It's not something that I want to do
Right, right.
long term or anything like that, but just say, hey, I've lifted weights my whole life. Why not maybe go all in for a few months and just see what I can do? But in the interim, I'm pretty happy continuing to see results. Um, you know, uh, in particular, I'm sure everybody it hits differently, but in particular for me, it's really been my chest. I've had awesome results. And I think the reason why in my chest development was so poor, I don't know why, but I was a big incline guy. I don't know why. I feel like just because everybody recommends incline, but I always found myself anytime it was chest day, I was always doing barbell incline press. That, I would mix in some dumbbell press, I would mix in some flies, I would mix in, things here and there. But the one thing that for some reason never left was I was always doing incline barbell press. And, I've learned over time that it's a pretty useless exercise for the chest.
Beautiful. Well, the incline, many people were doing it because they felt if they have like the upper chest is underdeveloped, then you should do the incline.
Yeah,
that's what the idea was.
That's why I mean, and then also too, I think, you just, a lot of times without even knowing it, I feel like a lot of people just fall into repeating what other people are doing in the gym.
For sure, yeah. And that's what we talk about on YouTube too.
Yeah, that guy's got a great body. He's always doing incline barbell press. Well, I mean, I would be a fool to not be doing that. So I think I just kind of maybe fell into that trap. And now that I'm strictly just focused on doing decline, I'm having great chest development. I mean, all the other areas are developing as well, but I would say that's the one where it's probably been the fastest.
Nice. If there is one thing that we could improve that will make the program perfect for you, is there anything that we can do regarding that?
Only thing I can think of, and I understand why you guys don't do it because you want to preach the most ideal, is maybe just a short list of what the second best one would be that you could reference in your program, where, for whatever reason, if you cannot access this particular piece of equipment, here is, might not be a 10 out of 10, but this is an 8 out of 10. So you at least feel like you're getting most of the squeeze out of the juice. So like, for example, my gym really doesn't have what I need to do. Not the lat pull-ins, the other one. What's it called?
Scapular retraction.
Scapular retraction. That's it. So I've kind of figured out a way around to do it at my gym. But that was the one in particular where I was kind of like, man, I got to do this exercise, but they don't really have the free form machine there for me to do it. So, so just learning on what the best alternative is. And you guys did provide that answer. So no issues at all. It's just maybe like just a small little cheat sheet that somebody could reference. It'd be great to have too, in case when the world gets back to normal, if somebody's traveling and they can only work out in a hotel or things like that.
Right. We did mention that in the video in the True Bodybuilding, when we were explaining Doug's split, that if you don't have, for example, a dual cable machine, or if you don't have this machine, the second best will be this, but we didn't have it in the sheet. So you're suggesting that we make it as a PDF.
Yeah, it just might be easy to reference, especially if you're on the road or you're busy with the kids or whatever, and you don't maybe have time to watch the video. You just, just a quick screenshot and I can just pull it up.
Perfect.
But again, I'm kind of grasping at straws here. I'm trying to think of a critique for you.
Yeah.
It's not really a huge critique. It's just, I'm trying to give you an answer. That's all.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Last thing I want to ask you, what do you say to those who are doubting whether they should enroll in the True Bodybuilding program or not?
Anybody who's hesitant to try these exercises or True Bodybuilding, just give it a month. Just honestly give it a month. Drop the deadlifts, drop the squatting, drop another one that I was guilty of that I did. Probably the worst exercises I was doing besides incline press was military press. That was bad. So just drop all those exercises, take these recommendations from True Bodybuilding and the Brig 20, just try it for a month. Just, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't like it, or for some reason you're supposedly not seeing the results, go back to what you're doing. But, be brave enough to give it a try for 30 days. I really think you'll never look back. I get excited when I talk to people like my friends about trying out these exercises, and it's just crazy how, the human mind, it's so difficult to change because my friends, they haven't been able to make that leap yet. They're like, no, you got to do incline press. No, you got to do military press. What are you talking about? And so, but I'm not giving up. I'm still pushing them. I think just everybody maybe has to have something trigger them to make that change, whether it's an injury or whether it's just not seeing the results. Because for me, it was really the pain. It was really the pain that changed it for me, where, for the first time in my life, as I was entering my mid 30s, I was really waking up with a lot of pain. My brother's similar to me, where he's always worked out and he's in his late 30s. and he's always going to the chiropractor, and he's got tons of shoulder pain and lower back pain. I'm like, dude, just try this out, just give it a try. But you know, people are stubborn. But eventually, I really believe I'll be able to start convincing some people to take the plunge, because it's honestly been worth it. I'm somebody who's never very skeptical, very hesitant to pay for online programs. So I'm not somebody who just tries you know, different online programs out, but this really caught my eye, and I think the value is certainly there for anybody, and no matter what your level is. If you're a beginner, it's especially awesome, because that means you're going to be starting your journey doing the most effect. I can't wait till my son gets older so I could just have him do this, so he doesn't have to go through this stuff. So then he's just going to achieve the best physique possible. So, but if you're an experienced person, open your mind, give it a shot. You really have nothing to lose.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your feedback, for your time.
Yeah.
Happy to have you join in our family. Of course, we will always stay connected via our private Facebook group. Can't wait to hear more about your progress, and we'll see you again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for guys, and I always tune into your stuff. So keep up all the good work, and I'm certainly trying to spread the word down here in Florida as much as I can.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Drew.
No problem, Mo. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.